Hey there, friends. So I was going to do a quick video here to update you on what's happening with the Texas wildfires, because I've had some questions and I don't have all the answers, but I have some ideas and some suggestions of what's going to happen here. So for those of you who don't know, the Texas wildfires are the largest in the state history right now. And they've consumed over 1 million acres. They're still widely uncontained. Last time I checked, it was at 5%. A few days ago, it was 10% contained, but they had a lot of high winds that kind of pushed the fires back out of control. The fires have crossed the state line into the state of Oklahoma. They've burnt over 100,000 acres in the state of Oklahoma. This could has the potential to become one of the largest fires in U.S. history, which is pretty crazy. Now, the big concern that people has to do with the cattle industry and what the prices that you're paying for beef at the store. And the reality is that Texas is the largest cattle state in the United States. And the majority of the cattle in Texas are up there in the panhandle. A ridiculous amount of numbers of cattle are in that panhandle area. From what I have read from statements of the Secretary of Agriculture for the state of Texas and just other statements from ranchers and what people have been saying, thousands, if not tens of thousands of cows have been consumed by the fire already. This is a very fast moving fire, especially when you consider the winds. I mean, it started off at, we were looking at 500,000 acres, and then it grew fairly quickly, and it consumed a lot of cows just when it grew that way, as well as livestock, homes. This is a pretty devastating event that is occurring down in Texas right now. This is also a situation where over 1 million acres of land have been burnt. So what's going to end up happening is all of these ranchers who have cows in that area, if they can't figure out a place to take them to, I've heard of some people trying to move them up to Colorado. A lot of ranchers are working with each other in this situation to try and help each other out with those herds. That's what they do. But there are going to have to be some cows that don't have a place to go. So those are going to end up going likely to slaughter, which will probably put some temporary pressure on some of the meat prices that we see, bringing the prices down temporarily. But the long-term effects, even the midterm effects, are that the prices of beef are going to go much higher, because what we're also seeing is a continued downsizing of the national herd. I read somewhere somebody had 200 replacement calves that got killed. I mean, this is it's a big deal for the meat industry. It's a big deal for the consumer. It's a big deal for everybody out there, because it's having a devastating impact. Now, there's been speculation that this fire was on purpose, caused by, environmentalists or something like that. From what I have heard, it was caused by a down power pole or power line from Xcel Energy. Xcel Energy hasn't confirmed whether it was their fault or not. That's the speculation out there. I think it's speculative. There's been some lawsuits that have started to file, but they still have to prove, what the source of the fire was. But it's looking like it's leaning that way. Now, Xcel Energy is a member of the WEF, and they are also part of the first movement coalition out of COP26. But I'm going to say that I don't think that it was intentional, but I do believe that what we're seeing is going to have a considerable impact on our national meat supply, and, if anything, aids in the coalition's plans. That's kind of a lot of the news that I have for you. I know that our friends at the Texas Bison Association have been moving hay north to try and help out with feeding some of the cows that have survived. There are a lot of people that are working towards trying to get hay out there to these farmers, but the reality is this is going to take a while for these lands to recover from this burn. I mean, wildfires can be very devastating, but they're ultimately good for the land several years down the road. Obviously, a lot of homes, over 500 homes and structures have been burnt to the ground. So it's a very sad thing that's happening. But those cattle numbers in the panhandle are concerning. And like I said, I'm going to say that I don't think that it was intentional, but it certainly, is going to help, I think, with driving meat prices up and driving people away from consuming more and more beef. What can you do about it is, support your local farmers, for one. When you buy direct from the farm instead of going to the grocery store and all these other things, you're providing them with more income, and helping them maintain and grow their businesses and stay established. And that's one of the most important things that you can do right now to support some of those ranchers out there. You could always pray as well, because these people need a lot of prayers right now. But keep an eye on this situation, especially with it moving into the state of Oklahoma and still not being under control. This could be one of the largest forest fires in U.S. history, and it's right in the heart of cattle country, and it's going to have tremendous impacts on what you all pay at the store as consumers for beef prices. And then the way these things work is, when the supply of one protein becomes short, the prices of other proteins go up. So there are some interesting times ahead. I'm curious to see what ends up happening, how long it takes them to get this situation under control, and hopefully, the efforts of everybody to try and get some hay out to these ranchers and move some of these herds to greener pastures are going to be met, and they'll be able to get up there. But the reality is, with the drought conditions that Colorado has faced the last several years, it was going to take them years to recover. So moving those herds even into other states like Colorado, or I don't know, wherever they can move them to, I have a feeling that, it's going to be a tough call for a lot of people to try and figure out what to do with the displaced cows. I think we're going to end up seeing a lot end up going to slaughter. I think it's going to put some pressure on beef prices momentarily, but it's going to be short-lived. And then as the situation balances back out, our herd size is going to have shrunk even more than it has now, which is the lowest it's been since 1951. Replacement cattle, 1940s, right? So it's not looking too good, guys. Anyway, stay tuned. I've been busy the last couple days. I've got some great news to share with you on some of the stuff we're doing on our farm. You can see we've been clearing some land along this hillside here, mainly so we can have a better eye on our pastures. Right now, it looks like I've got my bull is out in my yard. I don't know how that happened, but well, I'll tell you guys a story a little later this week about another bull that kept getting out. This one, his name's Joe. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So he's not that dangerous either. You just have to kind of push him in the right direction and he'll end up going where you want him to go. Tim was the dangerous one. Hey there, Joe. How you doing, bud? You ready to go back in? Yeah. It's that way. Come on, I'll get the gate for you.